Have you ever wondered what love felt like? What it felt like to have somebody right there beside you? Yeah, me too. Toradora captures the life of two main protagonists, Ryuji Takasu and Taiga Aisaka. The two are both looked down upon by most of the school because of their personality and stature. Ryuji is mistaken as a delinquent because of his glaring eyes and height, and Taiga is known as the palm-top tiger because of her tendency to snap at others and her small size. What is she, like 4'7" or something? 4'8"? Jesus. As the episodes fly by, we get to know the true nature of the two. Ryuji, funny enough, is really into cleaning and house chores like sewing and cooking. He is also really kind and selfless, as he takes care of his mother and his friends. Taiga is also seen to be very clumsy and very shy around Kitamura, her crush. Taiga is considered a tiger, and Ryuji considers himself a dragon, hence the name Toradora, which is literally tiger and dragon. The two realize they are very compatible and learn to help each other out, but we'll talk about that later. As we know from the light novel and the anime, Ryuji is not rich in the slightest, and lives alone with his mom who works very late. This led Ryuji to learning to live on his own, which is why he is a great cook, and he learns to clean up after himself. We don't know much about his father, other than the fact that he left Yasaka, Ryuji's mom, for another girl when she was pregnant with Ryuji. And between us, she's got some massive knock. Taiga, on the other hand, comes from a very wealthy family, but also has a fair share of problems. She was forced to live on her own, but her dad and mom make appearances in the show, and they don't go so well. Other than the two mentioned, others like Yasaka Kitamura, Minori Kushieda, and Ami Kawashima are considered Ryuji's and Taiga's close friends. There are also some characters in their class who are considered to be their friends as well, but they're like support characters, so it doesn't really matter. As mentioned before, the two are looked down upon by the school, and the way they meet is, well, let's say... Turns out Taiga lives right beside Ryuji, and decided to cut that man up into pieces after she found out she left a love note in his bag, which was meant for someone else. Quite literally, broke into his apartment, committed a crime, and was literally about to kill that guy. Taiga originally takes an instant dislike to Ryuji, but when he figures out that they realize they can help set each other up with their crushes, they decide to become friends. Well, Ryuji becomes her slave, basically. Through a bunch of hardships, the two become very close, and you already know what the hell is gonna happen! Whoa, too fast. Calm down there. Don't spoil it. The two try to set up romantic situations where the two would get together with their crush and fall in love, but they all kind of backfire and they get nowhere. Or do they? People around them notice they spend a lot of time together, leading up to rumors that they might be together. But that's eventually settled when Taiga slapped the living shit out of everybody. In the end, Taiga realizes that she actually does enjoy the time spent with Ryuji. Him cooking for her, cleaning for her, checking up on her for school, and then spending time at his house. Ami Kawashima eventually comes into the scene, and she seems like a nice, clumsy girl, but is actually a mean-spoiled brat. God, I hate her. Ami grows feelings for Ryuji, but Ryuji has his eyes set on Minorin. After a Christmas dance is set up, Taiga turns out to be all alone at her place, but Ryuji is like, nah, simp time, and decides to go be with her to cheer her up. In probably one of the greatest scenes in anime, after Ryuji cheers Taiga up, Ryuji goes back to talk to Minorin, but Taiga realizes she loves Ryuji and does not want him to go so they can be together. Minorin sees Taiga crying and knows that they are meant to be together. Taiga gets Minorin to talk to Ryuji and give the opportunity for Ryuji to confess his love, but she straight up denies Ryuji. But don't worry, boys, the show must go on. After many failed attempts to get with Kitamura, and probably the greatest fight scene between Taiga and Kono, Kitamura's crush, and many failed attempts to get with Minorin, Taiga eventually confesses his love for Ryuji after an incident while skiing. Taiga does not want to live with herself knowing she confessed her love for Ryuji, but eventually they kiss. Again and again, they decide to live happily ever after. Why can't I live a life like this? This anime is honestly so good. It barely had any flaws, other than the fact that it's way too addicting. You can't even argue that the animation is bad, because it's able to capture You know what I'm getting at. With an overall rating of 8.3 on my anime list, this anime does not disappoint. It's not as boring as most romance comedies because the main characters show their weaknesses and insecurities, like Ami's double personality and Taiga's uncomfortable nervousness around Kitamura. I also like how unpredictable it was, and how every character had a different approach to every situation because of their personalities. And the outcome of every situation was never cliche. The ending was completely unexpected, and I was even taken aback when I heard Taiga had to leave after they literally confessed their love. The soundtrack was also very calming and very sentimental, which made most scenes memorable and added so much to the overall mood. Even the orange song at the end is top tier, one of my favorite anime soundtracks. Being a rom-com, you would think that the entire anime is just that, but it was quite the change. In the beginning, it was very comedic. The relationship between Taiga and Ryuji was almost laughable, but as their love developed, the mood and scenes became more serious as the characters' true feelings were being revealed. This made the anime that much better, because every episode got better and better as you went along. For example, I always saw Minrin as being really annoying, but in the end she sacrificed her love for Ryuji just to make Taiga happy. In my honest opinion, this has to be, hands down, my favorite anime. The mood, the music, the character development, the plot twist, and the overall love story is truly amazing. Although I kinda guessed Taiga and Ryuji would get together in like episode 4, but I'm not gonna give it a number because that is something that could be debated. But in terms of animes I've watched, which actually is quite a bit, this is definitely a 9.8 or 10 out of 10 for me. Well, this concludes the Toradora anime review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next time. Peace.